Understand how to handle results that aren't ready immediately by handing off a function to be called later. In this example, the value number 5 takes 2 seconds before it is being returned to the screen. So in order to demonstrate it, I will go ahead and refresh this page. So you see 1, 2. So let's go move on and learn about callback in asynchronous operation. I have my boilerplate code here with just some few elements inside the HTML section, the topic, a simple paragraph, and also another simple paragraph, which is this. This means you cannot return the results right away. So we just want to see how asynchronous code start and finishes later. And we also want to see the difference between synchronous and asynchronous code. In synchronous code, you ask for a result and get it now immediately. But in asynchronous code, you can't get the results now because it hasn't happened yet. So the solution is you give JavaScript a callback, a set of instructions that says, when you finally get the results, do this with it. So let's look at that example. And in 3 steps, we are going to make a function, make another function, and then we'll register the callback in order to display the results that we want. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and make my displayer function. So you could call this any name, but in my own case, I'm calling it my displayer, and then I want it to take a parameter of some, and inside it, document get element by ID, so which is this, and then an empty string like this. So now I have this function. So I need to make another function called done. So I'll go ahead and make this function as well and call it done. This also will take a parameter of value, and inside it I can call the first function here and pass in the value. Now it's time to pass the value to our code. So how do we do that? Well, in order to use a callback, we need a method that supports it. So we're just going to go with the set timeout because we want to pass a timer. That is, we want this code to wait for a specific number of time while it's run on in the background, and when it's done, give us a display. So I'll use the set timeout method, and inside it I'll just pass the a function like this, and then inside it, so I'll pass the done function and pass the value alongside it, and I want this to wait for 2 seconds. That's equivalent is 2000 milliseconds, and you will see that after 2 seconds then it will display. So let's try again. 1, 2. So you can see that it's now displayed. So this starts a 2-second countdown, and then inside the timer, which is the set timeout, we don't just have a number, we have a command, which is also the done function that you can see here, and this value of 5 is passed here, which now passes it onto my displayer. So when this receives it, then the value also receives this 5, and then it will now update what you can see here on the screen. So well, you may want to look at this code in the other way around. That why not write my displayer and then just pass in a value directly like this and say 5. Now let's see what happened. Of course, after 2 seconds it's still showing. So if I remove this one, so let's see what happened. After 2 seconds, it's still showing, which means that even passing directly like this works. But why didn't we just write it inside the timer? Well, we can, as you can see that it works, but using a separate callback function, which is what we have here, like done, it makes our code more flexible, and it allows us to change what happens to the result. For example, let's say we want to save it to a database, or we want to display it without changing the timer itself. So as long as it is being received inside that separate callback part, it makes the code more flexible. So what we've just done here is that this page will, would trigger and return a value of 5 every 2 seconds. So I will revert this back to what we used to have, and after 2 seconds it will just pop up again. Now, just imagine what we have here like this. Let's say you are expecting or waiting on a package. You don't sit by the door. You only tell the delivery person, look, when you come to my doorstep, just call me. So the phone call is just a callback. You've already made a request, and when the delivery person he calls. So that's the callback. You only start moving once that calls happen. If the call has not happened, you have no reason to, not to move. And now currently, it's because I was not actually putting this value was the reason for the undefined. So now notice how the result 5 only exists inside the timeout block here. If we try to use it outside, it won't be ready yet. That is, if you try to use this value outside, it won't be ready yet. So by using this function, the done function as a callback, we ensure that the value 5 has a specific place to go the moment it is born after those 2 seconds. So if we change this from 2000 to 5000, what do you think is going to happen? Well, you can try it, and I will also try it. So what do you think is going to happen? Well, that simply means that the value of 5, we have to wait for 5 seconds before it's displayed on the screen. So the callback idea is about, planning for the future. You are not writing code that will run now. Instead, you are writing a script for JavaScript to follow later and display the result only when it has it handy.